most exciting thing about being in this workshop? You're with a bunch of great fit people and lots to do and days full of activities. What's the most fun?
Teaching. I really enjoy the teaching aspect. Watching, light bulbs turn on in the students' heads, watching them come in on Friday and having some kind of idea what's going on, leaving on Sunday, having, a fantastic technique or a more impressive improvement technique and everything else. That is really exciting. That's the part that I get really, excited about.
Now, Mark, tell me how kettlebells has changed your life.
It's taught me that whether you're young or old, that there are basic body movements and patterns that, for whatever reason, the physical fitness community abandoned several years ago. The typical thing about it's back day, it's leg day, it's arm day. There are very few things that we experience in our lives where we only use our arms or we only use our back. And I think one of the things in Pavel and John's material that's made it so valuable to me is it's taught me how to link up different parts of my body to make me a more effective athlete, to make me a more effective employee in some ways.
Tell me a little bit about your history with kettlebell training.
I was fortunate enough to be introduced to kettlebell training directly from Pavel. One of my patients, the world-renowned Dan Anisano, asked me to come along with him one time and check out this Russian weightlifting that one of his students had set up for him. I went along to check it out, and the more I listened, the more I was really impressed with not only how he presented the material, but the clinical correctness of what he was saying.
Well, I had a 20-year career in close protection services and executive protection, and found myself not being able to keep up with the guys 20 years younger than me that I was bringing in to work for me. And this was an alternative way of I thought, exercising. I didn't realize it was a change in lifestyle that it's been.
At my heaviest, I weighed 195 pounds and had 34% body fat. And when I started doing kettlebells, I lost 40 to 45 pounds in about 4.5 months.
The idea being is you're creating this tension.
A few years ago, I got injured and I couldn't do powerlifting anymore, and I started doing just kettlebell training. And it basically fixed my lower back.
Now this is getting into some fairly advanced stuff.
How have you noticed that the kettlebells has helped you physically, mentally, emotionally?
Well, I'd say physically, I can stand here and talk to you and I'm not in pain anymore like I used to be. Mentally and emotionally, I don't know if there's really any hope for me.
Now time it together. Boom, time it. There you go.
But you can take somebody who is crippled with any kind of disease, and if you start them right, you can go anywhere with it. I have a 4-year-old that swings a 9-pound kettlebell. I have a 300-pound woman that can do a Turkish get-up. One of my clients is here who is ate up with bone degenerative disease. He was shot in the first Desert Storm. He now does kettlebells and has lost almost 45 pounds from it. So there's nobody who can't do it. If you take what the other instructors teach you, you can implement it with anybody and everybody.
I showed a picture to the group of people yesterday of a woman who in June of 2007 had to be helped from a dinner table at an RKC event to a restroom. MS had ravaged her body to the point where she was on her way to a wheelchair. I held a picture up to these people yesterday of her doing what's called a renegade lunge, holding a kettlebell to her chest and then dipping down below a bar approximately this size.
Anytime you get to spend with Pavel, regardless of how far you have to travel, it's worth whatever it costs. The people that I'm around, the team leader instructors that I'm around, the wealth of knowledge within the group is just, it's worth the price of admission every time.
I have more friends than I ever imagined anybody could have that have come through my association with this organization.